was like, whoa.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is presented by Underdog. If you're new to Underdog, today's the day. Get $75 in fantasy bonus entries when you play just $5 on fantasy with code It Is What It Is. So y'all, we have a big weekend, UFC 324 and the NFL Championship games. Head over to Underdog to use 3 profit boosts. Underdog is available right now in most states, including Florida, Texas, and California, just to name a few. So make sure y'all support the show. Hit that subscribe button, lock in your bonus, and start playing today with code It Is What It Is. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your host Cam. Mace will be back, and today we are joined with our analyst, Arabia.
What's up, Arabia? How you been? You been all right?
I've been good, thank you. It's supposed to be this big snowstorm coming that's supposed to hit all the East Coast and everything. So people are over here going crazy with the grocery stores and stuff, but I'm good. All is well. How about you?
Yeah, I'm in 85-degree weather. I'm good.
That's nice.
Yo, why?
That's nice. I wish.
I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I left that life. About 6-7 years ago. Snow and all that. I don't even know what that's about.
It's supposed to be really
How
bad.
are you supposed to prep for that? Because I've only seen snow once in my life. So what do you do?
Okay, people go crazy. They go to the grocery store, they get a 3 months supply of toilet paper and paper towels. They're not going to leave the house till April. People stock up on water and they doomsday prep for a snowstorm that might have them inside for 2 or 3 days. So for me, I just make sure I always make sure I got food in the house. I have a 6-year-old. So it's not too much prep involved. There's always food in my house. We always got toiletries and everything. So people go crazy. But in general, just make sure you got some power banks in case the power goes out, which I doubt, and food in the house, and you should be good. We're not going to be in the house for 3 months, so you'll be fine.
I'm from New York. Niggas don't prep. Niggas, the train's still running, the bus still running, nothing stops. Grocery store still open. It could be 6 feet of snow, and everything's still going to be moving. The most it shut down is for maybe 30 minutes. They got so they have these big machine, I guess y'all would say garbage trucks, but they just pour salt on the street and then it melts the snow, and they drive through the street all day, all night, melting snow. But it's called salt.
I've literally never seen any of that. But for those who are potentially being affected, just stay safe. But Cam, question for you, because I know you like the hot weather and stuff like that. Does a hurricane scare you or no?
Hurricane, yeah, I moved. I used to live in Miami years ago, Fort Lauderdale actually, and a hurricane was coming. We just packed up, went to New York, and never came back. Left everything.
I know that's right.
Okay, so that's where you draw the line.
I'm saying because hurricanes and tornadoes go away like snow. Like I said, I live in New York. I know what Arabia's talking about. Places of land that snows, it'd be a half an inch of snow, if that, and everything shuts down. I'd be like, yo, this is what do you mean everything is shut down? So I know what Arabia is talking about. But for me, snow is not really a big deal. Hurricane, you see people trapped on the roof of their house and got to wait for a boat in the street to come get them and all type of shit. That don't really happen. We don't have too many natural disasters in New York.
Same with DC. We don't have too much. We don't have where I'm used to snow. I grew up with snow. So people acting crazy about snow now. It's why are you acting like that? Back in the day, you didn't get school canceled for nothing. It could be 12 inches of snow. You still got school. But if you did have a snow day, it might be 1 or 2 days. But nowadays they canceling school because a little bit of rain in the morning, a little bit of ice. So it's just different these days.
Yeah.
Well, make sure y'all stay safe. But we're going to get to the Ravens. Got a lot of football, especially coaching changes to talk about. So the Ravens got a new coach. They are hiring Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter as their new head coach. This will be Minter's first time as a head coach at any level. Arabia, do you think this addition is enough to even bring the Ravens like a good enough change? How do you think this fit will be for them?
I mean, like you said, it's his first time as a head coach at any level. So we're going to see. We don't even have prior head coach experience to pull from. He does come from the Harbaugh tree. He was a defensive assistant under John Harbaugh with the Ravens from 2017 to 2020. He also worked under Jim Harbaugh, both at Michigan and with the Chargers. So it seems like Baltimore doesn't want to go in a totally different direction as far as coaching philosophy. So Jesse Minter would just take what he learned from the Harbaughs and apply it with the Ravens. As defensive coordinator for the Chargers, like you mentioned, he had the Chargers defense since the top of the 2024 season, top 5 in points per game, top 5 in total yards allowed, top 5 in passing yards allowed, top 5 in interceptions, top 5 in red zone defense. So at this point, the interesting question would be, what are they going to do at offensive coordinator? Because a first-time defensive-minded head coach is going to benefit greatly from an offensive coordinator who he can just set and forget like a crock pot. If he has to worry about his offense and the coordinator, what's going on over there, it's going to be a little bit maybe too much at this high level for him to manage. So I think the success of the Ravens over this next year or two, and Jesse Minter's success with his first stint at head coach is going to be paramount with who they hire as offensive coordinator.
Yeah, listen, to me, it's saying that Baltimore, me growing up on Baltimore, and just probably over the last 20 years period, maybe 25 years, Baltimore is known for their defense. And Baltimore is not known for their defense these days. You know, we're talking about Ray Lewis, we're talking about Suggs, we're talking about Reed. These people, Baltimore is built off his defense, and his defense sucked the last however many years. Besides that, I don't know this nigga. I don't know Ravy, know the nigga. I don't know what tree he come from. And all. I ain't doing nigga. Ain't never been no head coach. Fuck, I know about the nigga. Ravy know more than me. I'm glad he worded the stats because I wasn't going to do no homework on the nigga like that. We'll see what happens. He ain't never been no head coach and shit. Look, I know more basketball than football, even though I know my football, but sometimes first-time head coaches pan out. Steve Kerr coming to Golden State Warriors, even though that was basically laid out for him. He won 4 championships since then, been the 6th first-time head coach. First-time head coach Steve Nash, coach the Nets. Kevin Durant played. Shit ain't work out. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Arabia know better than me. I'm not doing the homework on niggas like this. I'm just not. I'll take her word for it.
Valid. Okay. So the next one is a coach that we do know about. So former Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel is going to become the Chargers offensive coordinator. So Arabia, how do you feel about that choice by him? And then do you think it's more appealing to be the Chargers offensive coordinator over a head coaching position? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so first of all, the wait has a few fans feeling antsy because technically he hasn't inked the deal yet. Some say it's more of a formality, but others are saying he's waiting to see if a head coaching position opens up. So it's entirely possible that he might pivot to a head coaching position if that opens up. But for me, I think him at offensive coordinator just makes total sense. I'm on record, last episode I was on, saying I think that he will be a much better offensive coordinator than a head coach. So I can see this working out. He comes from the Shanahan tree. So him having Shanahan philosophies offensively, and then also coupling that with Jim Harbaugh's philosophies with the run game, also with the weapons that he has at quarterback and running back and wide receiver, could be really interesting. I know he likes to spread the field vertically, so I can see this working out for him as an offensive coordinator. I just hope he finds success with that, since he didn't really find success in his later seasons as a head coach.
It's another nigga. Like, yo, I don't know what niggas want from me up here, man.
You know what's so funny? I promise, hand to God, I said when I looked at the topics, I said Cam's gonna look at these and be like, I'm not talking about this. I said this. I was like, he's gonna look at these topics and be like, I don't know what you want me to say about this.
Yeah, well, look, at least you know it, nigga. Because look, at the end of the day, it didn't work out for me as I coach. You know what the real question for me is this? How much is the coaching difference? And I don't know, Arabia, maybe you can answer this for me. What is the price point difference? And I know it has to be significant in between like an offensive coordinator and a head coach. What's the price difference? Like, you know, a head coach get paid up $10, $15 million. How much is the offensive coordinator worth?
Well, first of all, we just saw John Harbaugh ink $100 million, 5-year, $100 million deal with the Giants. So it can get up there in crazy figures. But I don't know how much coordinators make. So I can't speak to what the difference is. But I know that it's definitely way more lucrative at the head coaching position and kind of like, the things that you're responsible for and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know
Yeah,
how
but
much these
what I'm
coordinators
saying
make.
is like, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. John Harbaugh is like top five coaches.
Yeah.
Like niggas seen the nigga got fired and had 7 offers in 45 minutes from 2 teams that already had coaches. Mike Tomlin gonna get them type. Everybody not gonna get the John Harbaugh deal. That's what I'm asking. Because I think I don't know if Stat got it on the list, but do you got Eric Bieniemy on the topics today, Stat?
Nope, but I can
I
add
don't
him.
know. I know. Well, we'll talk about it right now, right? Reason I'm asking is this, right? So Eric Bieniemy, offensive coordinator for Kansas City when they won them championships. You know what I'm saying? Nobody know if Andy Reid was calling the plays or he was. Of course, Andy Reid's going to be the last say or whatever. And he looked like a genius, Eric Bieniemy, because all the success that Patrick Mahomes was having. You got Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce when he wasn't, even though he got old kind of quick, he was looking great. And he left to go be a head coach or semi-head coach or whatever the fuck he got hired in the fucking Commanders. Arabia probably know whatever fucking position that was. So I'm like, why is he leaving if he's not really the head coach? If Rivera's the head coach, what the fuck is he leaving for? How much money could you really be making more? I'm not saying it's not a significant amount, but you're part of something great right now. Same thing with Tyreek Hill. I'm like, yo, all right, you're going to get the money, but now look at you. You're crying, you don't want to be there. You thought Tua was better than Patrick, found out you was just lying through your teeth. Now you sitting there don't want to be there. You could have made up that money on sponsorship staying in Kansas City, and y'all might have had a couple more championships. But they won without Tyreek Hill too, and they won without Eric Bieniemy. Now Eric Bieniemy's back in Kansas City. I just remember telling Michael Irvin about this shit about 6 weeks ago. I was like, Eric Bieniemy is just missing. Mike was like, yo, he's somewhere. I said, you might be the only nigga in America to know where this nigga's at. I'm not keeping up with Eric Bieniemy. I don't know where the fuck he's at. But I know one thing, he's going back to Kansas City. So you did all that shit, tried to be a semi-head coach or wherever you was in fucking with the Commanders. Then you went somewhere else. And then you could have just stayed where you going back to and been a part of something great and say, yo, this is the legacy. Like right now, I'm not saying he ain't want to go do it. You think about Josh McDaniels. This Tom Brady offensive coordinator for all his championships in New England, not the one in Tampa Bay, but he's the offensive coordinator for all the championships in New England. You know who's in the AFC championship game? The Patriots. You know who might get MVP? Drake May. You know who's his offensive coordinator? Josh McDaniels. He said, man, listen, I may not be cut out for this head coach shit, but I know how to be an offense coordinator and I know how to get great results out of a quarterback. Same thing with my other nigga, who the defensive coordinator. I'm so mad I'm having a brain freeze for Ohio State right now. Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia. So he was the defensive coordinator under Bill Belichick for the championships. Shit starts slowing down. Niggas say, I want to be a head coach with the Detroit Lions. Shit ain't panning out. Next time I looked up, he coached in college. Not saying he ain't have Ohio State looking good at defense, but y'all didn't even win. You lost to Indiana, and you didn't even win. So sometimes niggas need to stay in their lane. Don't get me wrong. I know the money got to be significantly different. But you got to figure out how the ways to make up for that, because now you might be out of a job and going back to what you usually did in the first place. Even though you may be going back with more money, you're ruining the legacy. Everything ain't cut out for everybody, yo. Play your position, my nigga. So I don't know. I don't know what the fuck gonna happen with the nigga at offense coordinator. Arabia knows better than me. I know he's an offensive-minded coach, so maybe this is where he need to be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. I thought the nigga Jim Harbaugh was a fucking quarterback, man. He wasn't a fucking quarterback. You need more offensive minds over there.
Yeah, so I think Eric Bieniemy left the Chiefs originally because he wanted to separate himself from Andy Reid. He wanted to separate himself from Patrick Mahomes and prove that he was really a big part of the success for the Chiefs. So he goes with the Commanders. He tries to force a system onto Sam Howell in that offense that just really wasn't working. He was force feeding it looked terrible, didn't work, he moved down to college. And it's kind of like when you're in a relationship and your girlfriend or your boyfriend's like, you do me so wrong, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna see what else is out there. And I'm gonna go find somebody who actually, and you like, all right, go see what else is out there. You'll be back. And they see what else is out there. They date over here. They have a failed relationship over here. And then they get the, hey, big head text a couple years later. Like, yeah, you saw what else was out there and you realized that this is exactly where you needed to be. So that's kind of what EB did. He tested the waters. He wanted to prove his worth away from Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And then he saw, like, look, hey, big head to the Chiefs. And they took him back. So, they're familiar with each other. It should work out. I can't see it not working out.
I'm not saying it ain't working out, but that's what you get. You let a head dog gonna holler. Yeah, you try to go out there and be a hoe. That's what you basically said. You want to be a hoe. That's what you said, Arabia. You try to say it nicely. You see being a hoe wasn't it, and niggas let you back in. But at the end of the day, even though they won a championship without him, their offense have been looking a little suspect, talking about the Chiefs the last couple years. So maybe they need each other. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. So this next coaching hire, then we're going to move on. So Robert Saleh is now the head coach for the Tennessee Titans, signing a 5-year contract. Arabia, how do you see the Saleh and Cam Ward duo working? Do you think this is a good fit?
Yeah, so we have historically seen so many instances of the quarterback play and head coaching job security tied to each other. We see a lot of number 1 overall pick or top 5 quarterback picks whose head coaches were fired either in the first or second year because things aren't working out. Part of the reason why Robert Saleh was fired with the Jets was because the quarterback play while he was there just was not good. Not all of the reason, but part of the reason. So I think people are going to be looking to see more out of that number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward, and they're going to be looking at Robert Saleh to be at least partially responsible for his development. So my fear is that in this microwave society where players don't have as long to develop, where people are expecting a lot from a number 1 overall pick quarterback, that this might be a repeat of the Jets as far as quarterback play being tied to the head coaching position. But, we'll see. He, to me, so far in his career, much better coordinator than a head coach. Much more success as the defensive coordinator with San Francisco than as a head coach with the Jets. But this is his second chance. So we're going to see what he does in Tennessee.
Another one. This is shit I'm talking about. Like, the first 3. This shit is stupid. Not the topic. I'm just saying. To me, shit is dumb. The shit is stupid. So Arabia, you just made a great point. Super duper good point. This nigga is a defensive specialist, and you want to find out what he's going to do with the quarterback play when he comes from defenses. That's his specialty. Look, we'll start at 2002, Michigan State. He started as an offensive assistant. Then he moved to defensive assistant. Central Michigan, defensive assistant. Georgia, defensive assistant for linebacker coaching. Houston, Texas, defensive intern. Defense quality control coach. Houston, Texas, linebackers coach. Defense quality coach. We in 2016. Linebacker coach, San Francisco's 2017 to 2020, defensive coordinator. Then he got the head coach with the Jets. Packers, okay, offensive consultant. Then he was a defense coordinator with San Francisco. How are we gonna know what the fuck the quarterback play gonna do? He gonna have to hire a super duper offensive coordinator because you just said, Arabia, and I agree with you that we want to see how it relates to get Cam Ward out there. Cam Ward didn't have a great season. We know that it takes more than just drafting a quarterback to have a great season. But how you going to get the most out of a nigga to where he's a defensive-minded coach? Now, same thing with Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick's a defensive-minded coach, but you hired Josh McDaniels. He going to have to hire Josh McDaniels if you want the best play for your quarterback. Niggas want that money. That's why I want to know the difference in pay. 5 years for how much, Stat? I know you can get what John Harbaugh got. What do you got? Or they just said 5 years, they ain't say how much.
It said 5 year, but
that's what I'm saying. It gotta be that chicken. Because some niggas, you might as well stay in San Francisco, nigga. You gonna get fired in 18 months.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think 2 things as far as I'm concerned. Number 1, A lot of people said this about Bobby Slowick because Bobby Slowick started off on the defensive side of the ball. And they said one of the reasons why he's such a great offensive asset is because he started off on defense. So now he can tell his quarterback, he can tell his offense how to read the defense and know exactly how to game plan for defenses since he started off on that side of the ball. Now, to play devil's advocate, he was one of the hottest names in the coaching carousel and then in the next season fired. But I mean, just to try to shoot Robert Saleh some bail, you could argue if he's a defensive specialist, he could help CJ Stroud. He could help Cam Ward as far as reading defensive, knowing how to just navigate an NFL defense. So maybe that'll be an asset. But another part of being a head coach is really just being a leader of men and being a delegator. So maybe he'll do a good job in this hiring process and delegating the right people to be around Cam Ward. If he doesn't do it himself, at least putting guys in position who can help Cam Ward do it. So that's just me kind of playing devil's advocate to say maybe he does have some tools in his tool belt to help Cam Ward out, even if it doesn't come from him.
Yeah.
Listen, man, check this out. When the nigga was coaching the Jets, right? The Jets was only like 1 or 2 wins away from the playoff because of their defense. They was like, oh, the Jets got a defense. Oh, shit, the Jets got a defense. If they could get some offense, it's going to be crazy. And he was the coach. That's why they went and got Aaron Rodgers. Because they was like, yo, they just 1 or 2 steps away. Because his defense is impeccable. You can't argue his defense. But I'm not going to say and act like Cam Ward doesn't have Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks ever. I don't care how he's going out. You know, you got to consider him top 5 quarterbacks, if not top 10, if not top 5, ever who played the game. He just don't have the championships to prove it. He only got 1. But at the end of the game, at the end of the day, he had the good defense, and he didn't have a great offense. I've seen this movie before. You got Cam Ward. He's the number 1 overall pick. I get it. You got time to work on him, etc. And I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is the easiest nigga to work with. We seen this nigga, Aaron Rodgers, throw a touchdown with the Jets. Robert Saleh tried to come over and hug him, man. Aaron Rodgers pushed the nigga. Then the nigga was fired the next day. We'll see what happens, man. But we've seen this nigga with a great defense before and be 2-3 games away from making the playoffs, and they be like, all they need is the offense. Maybe you're right, but we watching the sequel. I hope it's different from the original.
And
Me
then
too. I agree.
Real quick, want to add, so they didn't disclose how much he'll be getting paid, but just overall, the organization has just been putting a lot of money into it too, because we see that their stadium that's supposed to be opening in 2027 is around $2.1 billion, the project in itself. So I know he's probably just beaming at the eyes because he's seeing opportunity. But will they be able to figure it out?
Let me tell you something, Stat. Let me tell you something, another thing. They jerked that nigga. When you getting that chicken, you announce it. John Harbaugh, 100 million, nigga, 100 M's. Nigga said, look, man, we gonna put mad clauses in your shit. You get this many wins, we'll give you this. We get this many wins, we'll give you this. I don't know this for a fact. I'm telling you what I think. We got a hot $8 million for you for a year and a half. And see what we can do with you, my nigga. When them niggas get that chicken, they announce it. That's why I said, how much was it for? A 5-year deal, they put that nigga for $2 for $1, man. Ain't get no money. They would announce that shit. He just want the opportunity to be another head coach. Make the most of it, my nigga. True.
Can't be mad at that, though. Okay. So out of all the quarterbacks left, we got Matthew Stafford. We know Bo Nix is out, and so they're going to have Jarrett Stidham, Drake May, and Sam Darnold. Arabia, how would you rank them in your opinion from best to worst? I'm trying to figure out here if we should do Bo Nix instead of Jarrett Stidham, but I'll let you choose.
I'm a do Jarrett Stidham because he's the one actually starting the game on Sunday, and I'm gonna actually start at the bottom with Jarrett Stidham. To me, it's not that he can't do it; he just has to go out there and prove it. He's only appeared in 20 games over 6 NFL seasons, and he's only started in 4 of those games, which is the fewest career starts by a quarterback going into a championship game since 1970. So again, he just has to go out there and prove it. He's number 4 on my list. Number 3 on the list is actually Sam Darnold. I think he's capable of amazing things. We've seen him put his team in a really great position, but also I think he can be better as far as protecting the ball. He's top 3 in the NFL in interceptions. And when you cross-reference that with him being top 5 in passing yards, you give him a little leeway, but you definitely want to see him not put the ball in harm's way. We saw that Rams-Seahawks game where he really put his team in a crazy position in certain parts. So I would just like to see Sam Darnold be a little bit more consistent as far as protecting the ball. Number 2 on the list for me is Drake May. Drake May at 23 years old, if the Patriots beats Denver, Drake May will only be the 3rd quarterback in NFL history to make it to the Super Bowl under 24 years old. The other 2 are Dan Marino and Ben Roethlisberger. So that's pretty impressive as far as being a young quarterback leading your team. Number 1 on the list is Matthew Stafford. I know he's not perfect, but he's already led the Rams to a quarterback. And after that Super Bowl, he's led the Rams to a Super Bowl. After that Super Bowl, people were like, oh, the Rams sold the farm. They're not supposed to be good for a long time. But here we are just a few short years later, and here they are competing again to get back to that point. Matthew Stafford, if they beat the Seahawks, would just be the 6th quarterback in NFL history. I know I have a lot of stats, but they're sending a lot of information about these championship games. He would just be the 6th quarterback in NFL history to lead the league in both passing yards and passing touchdowns and get to the Super Bowl. And he's in great company with Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, Kurt Warner, and Patrick Mahomes. So I got to say Matthew Stafford based on his talent and based on his experience.
I'm glad you got the stats because I'm sure the fuck don't. I'm just telling you who I think. And I think you got the list completely right. That's exactly what I think. Now, we're going to start at the bottom. We asked the nigga Mike Irvin yesterday, what do you think of Stidham? The nigga Mike Irvin said, the nigga name is Stidham. I ain't fucking with him. I'm going with that. Mike Irvin said, I ain't fucking with a nigga named Stidham.
You know they call him Stiddy.
Yeah, I'm just telling you what Mike Irvin said. He said, Stat asked the nigga, so do you believe in Stidham? He said all these nice things about Stidham, and then he said, do you believe me? He said, fuck no, nigga name is Stidham. I'm going with number 4, strictly off Stidham. Number 3, Sam Darnold. Arabia just called the nigga Jameis Winston. That's just basically what she said with the stats. She said this nigga can throw mad yards, but then he gonna throw wild interceptions. That's Jameis Winston. So she just basically said he the white Jameis Winston. You can't trust a nigga like that. Now, you could trust Seattle because Seattle got a great running game. The defense is good. And you think about it, she's talking, I don't know which game she's talking about because he had a total of 6 interceptions in 2 games against the Rams. But that game when he threw 4 interceptions, the Seahawks still had a chance to win that game. The nigga threw 4 interceptions and they still was in it to win the game. That's how good Seattle is. So I'm going with him. Number 2, absolutely, I'm going with Drake May because of Josh McDaniels. Strictly off that. They young, they hungry, they got some veterans on the team. And in the last 17 years, I believe it is, I know I said this stat yesterday, but it just goes to speak to the organizations. It's been the Patriots and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game for the last 7 years. That's a great, a lot of teams rebuild for decades. For the Patriots to rebuild this fast after Bill Belichick and, of course, Tom Brady, I think it speaks a lot to the organization. And number 1, we going with Matthew Stafford. He has a championship with the Rams, matter of fact. And I think that him and Sean McVay a great combination. He can be trusted. And between him and Drake May, he's an MVP finalist. I told you he's my favorite story this year because the niggas wanted to get him out the league. Not saying out the league, they didn't want to pay him as much in the offseason. He's old. We don't know what he could do. I don't have should we give him the deal? The nigga came and said, word, I'm old. Let me bust you young niggas' ass. And now he's a finalist for MVP. But I could trust him because he knows what it takes to win the Super Bowl along with his coach. So I have the same order as Arabia.
Okay.
For different reasons. I ain't give the stats. I was just telling you how I feel.
Yes, and I agree with everything that you just said. And speaking of stats, I want to say the other 5 quarterbacks to lead the league in passing touchdowns and passing yards and make it to the Super Bowl in that same year are Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Peyton Manning, Dan Marino, and Kurt Warner, not Ben Roethlisberger. But he's in great company. I completely agree with your list.
Yeah, Dan Marino ain't win no Super Bowl though.
Yeah, he didn't win it, but he made it there, but he didn't make it. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to ask y'all this because I think that there's now been a lot of discussion surrounding Sam Darnold, specifically because he was part of the 2018 draft class, which included Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, and Lamar. So say he wins the Super Bowl, and I know this is hypothetical, right? Does this change how you view the others, or do you just see this as a good year? Like, does that change anything about how you think about Sam Darnold, Arabia?
Not necessarily, only because you could, like Cam said, you could point to the defense and the run game and coaching as one of the reasons why the Seahawks not only got to the Super Bowl, but probably won the Super Bowl. So there have been plenty of times where we've seen, like, even we talk about with Joe Burrow all the time. He could be the greatest quarterback in the world, but if he has a terrible defense, you can't put that on him, and vice versa. If you have a defense that's really carrying the team, or at least playing complementary football with the offense, you can't put all the wins and the accolades on the quarterback either, just as far as analyzing the game. So I think it definitely is a notch on his belt, and it's something to pad his resume and something to point at as far as him being one of the more accoladed quarterbacks in that draft. But I mean, it doesn't really move the needle too much for me, because Seattle is one of the most complete teams in the NFL. So you got to credit all the other moving parts around Sam Darnold as well.
It depends on what kind of game he had. Nigga, if he had one of them breakout 400-yard games, you know what I'm saying? Seattle doesn't run their offense like that, especially with their running game being good. But if he had one of them 300-plus yard games for a random 400-yard game and bust niggas' ass, then you could start the conversation about it. You know, right now, like I said, Arabia brought some great points about him, and he's still, to me, even though he's at the NFC Championship game, to me, he still has that stink on him from last year. Now I know, don't get me wrong. I know the Minnesota Vikings feel like shit because they didn't want to pay him and he ended up leaving. But at the end of the day, you lost that last game to get first place against the Detroit Lions, and then you stunk it up in your first playoff game. So niggas looked at it, and that cost them tens of millions of dollars. Them 2 games alone cost them that. You got a chance to make it up, nigga. You got a chance to, let's make it up, because let's think about it. Lamar Jackson, and what Arabia says 100% right. But the quarterback always get the blame, like they get the glory. They sit there and say Josh Allen lost 5 playoff games to Pat Mahomes. They just changed the rules, or 4 games. Which one? 4 games to Pat Mahomes. They just changed the rules. This last weekend where he lost was the first time that he lost when he was on the field. You get what I'm saying? The other times when he lost, he didn't get a chance to get on the field because the rules was whoever scored first in overtime, or whatever the case may be in certain situations, certain playoff games, that's who won the game. So one of them playoff years when he played against Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes and them get the ball first and they score, it's not his fault, but they gonna lay blame it on the quarterback. That's just the way it go. You sit there and say, just for instance, right? You'll sit there and say, so today it's Lamar Jackson against Josh Allen. They don't play against each other, really. They're not on the field at the same time ever. But just like the quarterback get the glory, you go and blame it on the quarterback when they lose it. And that's just the way it go. You know what I'm saying? But to me, Sam Darnold, he has a chance. You know, I don't know if his coach, Mike McDonald's going to put him in that position, but he got a chance to be great. He got a couple games to do it. Or, you know, if they win this game and go into the next game, you can fuck with them. To me, Caleb Williams had that type season. You know what I'm saying? Caleb Williams, you know how I felt about the nigga. Fingernails and all. Now I don't give a fuck about the nails. I fuck with the nigga. That nigga, because I liked his attitude. He was stunning, doing all this stuff. He throwing fucking 60-yard passes, throwing his hands in his pocket while the ball in the air. The swag was up. I fuck with the nigga. I liked him. Then he was doing shit that you can't teach. Don't get me wrong. You have to have your fundamentals together and everything else. But when you on a 4th and 8 and you scramble 20 yards back and throw a dime in the corner of the end zone, that's instinct. That's quarterback. That's what you grew up doing. You know, sometimes you can't teach shit like that. And to me, Caleb Williams grew into that. I'm a fan of his now. Sam Darnold, you got a chance to show me something, nigga, and get that stink off you from last year.
Yeah, great conversation. We'll see what happened. I just wanted to ask, because we always say, winning changes things and how you view people. So I'm like, if he does get it done, when do we kind of start looking at the others? But I guess
That's the thing about it, not to cut you off, that's the thing about it. As much as we love Peyton Manning, you know what I'm saying? And he was a big part of his first Super Bowl with the Colts. We know damn well he ain't do a damn thing to win that Super Bowl when he played with the Denver Broncos. That nigga was just sitting there and his name was Peyton Manning saying Omaha. That was it. He nigga was a decoy. He ain't do a motherfucking thing. So sometimes you win the chip, but if you ain't participating in the chip, niggas gonna know that too.
True point. Okay, now the 49ers. So at their end of season news conference, the Niners general manager John Lynch spoke on Brandon Aiyuk, saying, "I think it's safe to say that he's played his last snap with the Niners. It's unfortunate, and I will look long and hard at what could have been done differently, but sometimes it just doesn't work out." And I think that this was a case where that happened. So Arabia, how do you feel about that comment? What do you think is next? And then how do you feel about the 49ers as a whole right now?
Yeah, things have been rocky for Brandon Aiyuk in San Francisco on and off the field for the last couple of seasons. He signed a 4-year, $120 million contract extension. And then after that, he only played in 7 games because he tore his ACL, his MCL, and his meniscus in his right knee. So the 49ers voided $27 million of his 2026 incentives after reportedly he wasn't showing up for work. Kyle Shanahan was like, in all his years of coaching and being part of football programs, he's never seen anything like that, and he's never dealt with anything like that. So to me, if you get 120 M's of a contract and you're only able to show up to 7 games after that since you signed, I mean, it seems to me mutually beneficial because he's not happy. He's not showing up to work. So to me, the separation makes sense for both parties. If he's not showing up to work, he's not happy. They don't have their asset available on the field. So just part ways, call it a day, and just see who else maybe will pick Brandon Aiyuk up.
I don't know. This is my nigga OJ nigga. God bless the dead. OJ loved him some fucking Aiyuk. That was his man. I don't fucking know about this neither. Look, the nigga was crying. I remember this. Nigga was crying because he wanted his money. San Francisco ain't want to give him his money. And he wasn't showing up to camp or whatever the fuck he wasn't doing. Then he got his money. Then he got hurt, like Arabia said. And we ain't seen him since. I don't fucking know. I ain't know he's not showing up to practice. You don't know all that shit he fucked up. I didn't even know he fucked up that much shit till Arabia just said, how long that take? Because he ain't playing like a year and a half. He may not be 100%. That shit sound painful. She just said the whole alphabet. MCL, ACL, TRU, GLS, CLS. I thought she was naming Mercedes. Yeah, I thought she was naming Mercedes Benzes. Like, yo, my nigga, I don't fucking know. He may not be 100%, but the 49ers is frustrated because everybody hurt. You know, them niggas, you got to give Shanahan credit for what he did with the team with all these injuries. We actually seen Kittle's play hurt all season to where he just went out with Achilles, I believe, that game before. They've been playing hurt. I give Kyle Shanahan mad props. But as far as like you, I ain't heard from niggas for 2 years. He got that money and just disappeared. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I'm supposed to know. You know, you gotta be an insider. That's why Ravens an insider. I'm not an insider. And I don't want to be an insider for that. If the nigga's hurt, he's hurt. Sound like he fucked up mad shit. Meniscus, I know meniscus take like 4 months. But if you combine it with an ACL, how long does that take? You know, this sounds like a combo meal. We don't know what the fuck is wrong with the nigga. He may not be 100%, but I know San Fran's frustration because they like, yo, at least come to the motherfucking stadium, nigga. We'll will you in the stadium. You at least be there. Matter of fact, we gonna hold 26 million because niggas get hurt and be mad, and all of a sudden, you know, we don't know. One thing for sure, 2 things for certain. Them NFL and NBA and people who invest a bunch of money on you, they watch you. This nigga may say that his leg is fucked up and he can't show up to work, this, that, and third, and he may be playing pickup basketball somewhere. You don't fucking know. It's a story, right? I don't know if y'all familiar with Jay Williams. He used to be Jason Williams. He changed his name to Jay Williams because it was a lot of Jason Williams. And he played for Duke. Just talking about basketball here. He played for Duke. He's an analyst now on ESPN. Shout out to Jay Will. I like what he does. He played for Duke, #1 player coming out of college. He gets drafted to the Bulls, I think second overall pick. They give him Michael Jordan's locker. That's how good he was. They like, yo, you're going to take Michael Jordan's locker. He gets the big contract, everything else. He gets into a motorcycle accident. He gets into this motorcycle accident and fucks his leg up forever and never gets a dime of any of his money. Because you know why? Chicago Bulls had in the contract, we will pay you unless you get into a motorcycle accident. How the fuck do they know he like motorcycles? Google it. Google it. How the fuck do they know you like motorcycles that much that you could potentially get into an accident? Even when he got into the accident, he tried to crawl away from the scene to act like it wasn't him in the accident. These teams are investing tens or hundreds of millions of dollars into you. They gonna know what type of bitches you like. They gonna know what the tooth fairy gave you when you was 4 years old. They gonna know what color your grandmother's hair was. They gonna know they know everything if they're investing this much money into you. So therefore, I don't know what Aiyuk did or what he didn't do or what he's capable of doing, but I know San Francisco is probably just mad at paying niggas and niggas is always hurt. But I can't really comment if it's fair or not fair because I haven't heard nothing about the nigga since he got hurt. But I know he got paid before that.
Real quick about that story. So, like, if that were you in his position, would you ever go near a motorcycle or like?
You talking about Jay Will?
Yeah, because it's like.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
You asked a question, Sam.
Yeah, I'm saying if that were you, like, are you ever going near a motorcycle? Like, how would you kind of handle that situation? Because I'm assuming he looked at it, but you're not expecting that.
Are you asking after the accident, or you mean when I'm signing a contract and I know that's in the accident?
Like, if you signed the contract and you know that that's part of it, are you just steering clear, or you're just? Because I guess you're not thinking that that's going to happen to you. So I'm trying to think like you were in that position.
It's a good question because the thing about it is this, like you just said, you're not planning for an accident and you're not planning for no career-ending accident.
Right.
But it can happen. It can happen. Anything can happen at any time. Think about this, right? If he was in a car accident, he would have still got his money. If he's in a boat accident, he would have got his money. They know this thing got a motorcycle habit. It's actually a 30 for 30. You know, people know it because I'm a basketball fan. I used to watch him at Duke. So I know the story. But it's actually ESPN did it. You know, they do their E60 stories, specials like documentaries on it. And it's an E60 story on this particular case where he went back to the scene where he crashed the motorcycle. He was sitting there crying. Like, damn, I fucked up everything. I'm like, these ESP, the producer of this show is a sucker gonna bring him back to the scene where the nigga crashed the motorcycle had his nigga people with a tear jerker. But pause. But at the end of the day, that's a great question, Stack, because you're thinking I ain't gonna crash.
Right.
And if I crash, I ain't gonna be no career ending shit. They know he got a habit. You asking me what I would do?
Yeah.
I'm not really a motorcycle nigga, but let's just say this.
Okay, I have an example.
When I'm 20, I'm giving you for me.
Yeah.
Like, just real quick. If it's, let's say, for instance, I'm 22 years old at the time, 23, and they be like, yo, Kim, you gotta stay away from bitches with fat ass. I'm be like, yo, this is, I don't know. I could sneak and catch one. I might can catch me a joint, and they not know that this joint got the fatty. I'll tell her go in the hotel this way. I'll tell her go that way. I'm just telling you what I was into at that age.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I can stay away. I might try to find a way around it to get to that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You can ask me what you would ask me for. I'm going to tell you what I like at 22, 23.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, I was going to give you an example. I'm like, say someone said that okay, perfect example. Say somebody said that you can't own any cars that go over 200 on the dash, or you can't, like, you are not allowed to smoke weed. Are you not doing it?
22, 23. Weed would have been hard. I stopped smoking. I mean, I still smoke weed. But I was on probation risking piss tests every month with dirty urine. You know what I'm saying? Statute of limitations up, but I was paying the piss nigga because I knew my piss was dirty. I just go in there every time and get a nigga money. And that was that. This is how it started for me, right? I'll tell you what happened. The first time I had to report for probation, he's like, yo, your piss is dirty. I'm like, yeah, it's my first day, nigga. He's like, nah, don't worry about it. Then when I'm doing it, he's like, yo, you got $7? I'm like, what, nigga? This is in the bathroom, pause. I'm like, yo, what do you mean? I'm like, he's like, what do you mean I got $7? Now I was going to buy some lunch. I'm like, lunch? Take $100, nigga, like, keep me out of jail. I'm going to come here dirty again. He's like, nah, just call me. I'll make sure it's good. Every time I went, I gave nigga $100. Even to the point where I was meeting a nigga on random streets because I had to sign a paper. He's like, don't worry about it. They would get baby piss. Like, they had a whole system of getting piss from babies to where your shit was clean. I know this is beyond Tampa or wherever you grew up at. But this inner city shit, niggas sell pee and all that from kids, daycare center and all that.
Pass the test. So what I'm hearing is you're not doing it. You gonna find a way.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's a legit question what you asking, but it's not career ending to smoke weed. More just like you gotta have another thrill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have what's that shit called? What's that shit called when you like your not your testosterone, like adrenaline. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. You gotta be one of them adrenaline junkies. Want to go bungee jumping and skydiving and all that dumb shit. Risk your life. I'm not on that time. I risked my life growing up in Harlem. I ain't gonna try and bungee jump. Fuck, I'm gonna do that for? Add more pressure to my life. I'm not skydiving. So they was skydiving walking out my building every day.
But that's also what I'm saying. It doesn't even have to be career ending because, I mean, it's not the same thing. But, like, a good example, I think, Zion, they know he likes to eat. We need you to be under a certain amount of weight so you can be the most athletic person that we need you to be. So it's like, it doesn't necessarily have to be like motorcycles or weed or whatever, but like something that you like. Like, are you willing to give that up? Especially if they're offering you big money and they know you're addicted.
Yeah. If it's for the right money, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I think that's a terrible example that you just used over Zion. What you should have said is prostitutes and strippers. Can he stay away from those?
That clearly wasn't in his contract. That's why he's doing what he do.
That's why they need to put it in there. Nigga might average 40. Stay away from them joints. You could do food. That nigga's skinny right now.
But now you giving out ideas because some people gonna be real mad if they look up and that's in their contract. So all I'm gonna say is y'all just be the best you can be. That's my tip. Okay, y'all. We're gonna go to break. When we return, we will discuss these comments from CJ Stroud and what's next for Jimmy Butler. Don't go anywhere.
What's up, big dog? What's up, big dogs? Martin Luther King Jr. will be alive today if Tua was the shooter. Tua's passer rating can barely go to the club and get a bottle. 24.1 passer rating against the Browns. Marlon Humphrey is online saying that he wants to go on a glizzy tour. He wants to go to 50 states and try 50 Glocks.
It's going to be challenging for A.J. Brown. He typically stands outside the numbers a lot, and that's where PS2 thrives.
CeeDee Lamb said this is one of the best offenses he's been a part of. And as much as I hate to say it, I can see why he says that. I just said all these positive things about the Cowboys makes me want to throw up. So I know it's taboo to put your hands on your kids. I know. But I had to whoop your son the other day.
When I evaluate rookies, the best thing I can always say about the ones that are doing the best, they understand pass protection. Pass pro is where you see some rookies struggle. He's not doing that. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Welcome back. Now let's get into our underdog picks of the day. So tonight, the Pacers will play the Thunder. Underdog has SGA at 32.5 points. Do you have him higher or lower, Cam?
Higher.
Okay.
Thinking that by the third quarter.
Okay. Chet is at 18.5 points. Higher or lower?
Lower.
Okay. And Pascal Siakam is at 21.5 points. You got him higher or lower?
I'm going to go higher.
Okay. Make sure y'all download the Underdog app and you can make your picks too. So got some comments from CJ.
Yo, hold on real quick. Yo, Arabia.
Yeah. What's up, Cam?
Hey yo, so every week me and Nick be going over the metrics and the numbers and just plotting on the show and everything. We was looking at some comments from a show you was on, and
Oh,
a
for
lot of oh no, we study everything. We make sure we look at it. And I was just letting you know a lot of our male fans that like you are upset with you because
Oh,
they
why
said
they
you
upset
played
with
the
me?
side because you said you played the side chick while you was in a relationship. They was real mad about that. They felt upset. So I was just letting you know that they was like, damn, I would have wifed her, but I can't wife her. This see what's going on with these chicks out here. This, that, and third. This how. Listen, I'm just telling you the analytics. I told you Side Nigga Nation.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you when we was looking at analytics, a lot of male fans were upset about that, man. What do you got to say about that?
I know everybody's perfect. Everybody's perfect, and nobody did anything, and nobody has a past, and nobody was ever on the side. Nobody ever cheated. But I have a past, and what I talk about, I'm not no fake motherfucker. And I come up here and I own my past and the shit that I did. And then some people was like, "Oh, I wouldn't have said that on the internet." That's why you're not on this fucking show. It is what it is. We say what we want. So if I did something in the past and I learned from it and I'm different now, I don't care what these strangers on the internet think. I know who I am. My nigga know who I am. My people who I know, my friends, my family, they know who I am. So people who like, oh, she ruined any chance at a relationship. I'm in one now, bitch ass nigga. And are you weird ass bitches who send in my nigga that clip like, oh, your girl said that she's always a side shit. Bitch, get off my nigga dick and out his DM. So a lot of people have a lot of shit to say about a lot. I have a past. Okay, the things I talk about was when I was 19, 20. My boyfriend was 18, 19, 20. I'm fully grown, fully grown. So I meant what I said. I said what I meant. I was on the side and I loved it. Had a ball, had a great time, did it for years. And then, you put childish things to the side and you grow up. So sorry to everyone who just was so perfect and they never did anything, but I'm not perfect and I own my past.
Man,
so.
that's the attitude right there. Because you know why? The niggas who be complaining be in their grandmother basement, sharing a room with their 39-year-old cousin. Like, yo, I get that. We got to stop caring what people think. I love that attitude. I love that. Let me ask you this. You said that people, because that's another thing. The internet, I don't even know who your boyfriend is, but niggas will track you down. These internet investigators is crazy. So you're trying to say that people sent that clip to your boyfriend in the DM? And your boyfriend showed you?
Yeah, so a lot of people send him clips of a lot of my things, like shows with me and my baby father. Like, me and my baby father have a show together, and they'll send a clip of that and be like, oh, she was being a little bit too friendly with her baby father. What do you think about that? Or send the clip of me talking about being a side chick, like, oh, your girl said that. That's what we doing. Like, they all just want him, and they all want dissension in our relationship. That's why if you're in the public eye in any regard, you can't be with somebody who's insecure or who takes all this outside noise and puts so much value into it, because everybody's going to have something to say about everything. So I have a very secure man who, knows who I am and who loves it here. So all them little comments in the DMs ain't doing nothing. We're laughing at you. So yeah, a lot of people send a lot of clips about a lot of things.
Let me ask you this. Sorry, yeah. He showed you the clips they be sending?
Yeah.
If he don't care, why he showing?
We both think it's funny. Like, we both think it's funny. Like, look at what, like, it's his first time dating somebody who's kind of like in the public eye in any regard. And it's new to him. So he's like, why did this person say this, da-da-da? So it's just funny to us the way that people think we give a fuck about what they got to say about our relationship. Like, we just laugh. It's a joke.
All right, got you.
Yeah, period. And I'm actually happy you asked her that so she could say that and clear it up, because people do be real nosy. I have no notes. So yes, that's all I gotta say. Fully understand where you're coming from. Okay, so Got some comments from CJ Stroud. Some people didn't like what he said. Some people are indifferent, want to know you guys' opinion. So he opened up in the end of season press conference a little bit about his season. He said, I've been on some great teams my whole career where a lot of them were offensive driven. And he cites playing for Coach Ryan Day. And then he said, so this year was a step for me where I didn't have to be Superman all the time. And I'm still growing in that. So what do you take from his comments, and then just from what you've seen from CJ Stroud? Do you think the kid's going to be all right? Do you not? What are your opinions on that? And then did you take a problem with his Superman comment?
No, CJ Stroud didn't have to be Superman, but he did have to be good enough to not blow the game. Okay, be a game manager. That's fine. A lot of people give some quarterbacks a hard time because they're not these world beaters, but they're good enough to at least get their teams deep in the playoffs or to a Super Bowl. Peyton Manning, we already talked about how he had such a great defense that carried him to the Super Bowl. But Peyton Manning was good enough to not completely blow the game for Denver. You didn't have to be Superman. At least be Lois Lane. Support a nigga. Superman for the whole year was the Texans defense. All you had to do was be Lois Lane. If you can't be Batman, be Robin or be Alfred. Instead, he was Lex Luthor. He was the Penguin. He was the villain in the Texan story all year. So, yeah, I think that was a terrible excuse. Him talking about he didn't have to be Superman. Well, you did have to at least be good enough. You didn't have to be the best of the best, but you did have to be good enough to not blow it for your team. And, you know, I'm always going to give players enough time to develop, but what I saw from CJ Stroud this season, especially in the playoffs, he was not mid. He was really bad. So, great rookie season, sophomore slump. I attributed some of that sophomore slump to a bad offensive line and just some continuity errors. This year, some players were hurt. He lost a few of his primary weapons, this and that, but watching the games, his decision-making, the way he put the ball in harm's way, just the stuff that he was doing was beyond me. So this next year will say a lot. But from what I saw in this postseason, horrible play by CJ Stroud, and I think he knows that.
What was his comments that Superman, what the fuck he said?
Basically, so the end of the quote, he said, this year was a step for me where I didn't have to be Superman all the time, and I'm still growing in that. So he was crediting like playing for like different teams and then saying that like they were very offense driven. So how things have been a little bit of a change, but how he's been able to adjust.
Nigga fumbled the ball like 18 times. I don't know, yo. I don't know what niggas. Sometimes niggas don't be knowing what to say. I don't know, bro. Niggas just need media training. Some of these niggas. I don't know. I really don't know. The nigga. I watched the nigga fumble the ball. Was it 5 times or 4 times? Some shit like that. Am I bugging?
Or you're not bugging.
Some kind of shit.
No.
Yeah, some shit like that, right? What I found out is this. I didn't know the hoes liked the nigga. The hoes is on him. Because I don't know who the hoes like from time to time. They like Anthony Joshua this week, then CJ Stroud is cute next week, then ASAP Rocky. Shout out to Harlem nigga, of course. But I'm just saying, in general, the hoes they like a new nigga every week. I know the hoes like him. I've just found that out. I don't, you ain't know that. Arabia summed it up, nigga. I don't know. I don't fucking know. The nigga, look, had a great rookie. She summed it up perfectly. Had a great rookie season. Last year, he wasn't all that. He got hurt at the beginning of this year. Then we sit there and see the Texans making moves without him. Then he comes back and fits right in. I think they ran off 9 or 10 games in a row. And they look really good, but then you look really bad. Now you have to be Superman. I don't know. Look, I don't want to diss the young nigga. He's 24 years old. I'll say this. He younger than Bo Nix. You got time. You got time to work with the nigga. Bo Nix out here still playing in college. He's 25. CJ Stroud's 24. T.I.'s playing time to get better. I'll give him that.
Real, raw, and honest. Welcome to It Is What It Is. Okay, so switching gears to basketball, of course, Cam, gonna get your comments because Jimmy Butler suffered a season-ending torn right ACL when the Warriors actually played the Heat and won 135-112. So how do you feel about this Jimmy Butler injury? What do you think it does for him? And how do you think this is gonna affect the Warriors?
What's it do for him? What you mean what he do?
Like, what do you see
out for the
happening
season.
next? Because he's older. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, is
That's your nigga stat. That's your man. You're a Golden State Warriors fan all of a sudden. Because Jimmy
Not
Butler
all of a sudden.
You went in the portal for these niggas. You talk about you're in the portal, bought paperwork, all that, because all of a sudden Jimmy Butler's your favorite player. Like, he was not no Steph Curry's your favorite player. Jimmy Butler was your favorite player in Miami. Like, he was a homegrown Miami nigga. He played for 2-3 other teams before he got to Miami. You found a reason to abandon the Miami Heat and be like, you got that second team is Golden State. What do you think about it?
First,
what do you think?
real
How
quick,
do you feel
when
about
you
it?
explain things, you say it to me like I'm supposed to, like, dang, like, that sounds crazy. But, like, I fully agree. Like, yes, that is what I believe. And that is what I said. First of all, like, it's just unfortunate. I don't like to see any player get hurt. And I do really like Jimmy Butler's play. I do think that he's had a lot of good, especially recently, games for the Warriors. Just him being an older player, like, you don't want to see any older player have an injury like this, because it's like, how quick can they come back? What is it kind of going to do for his career as a whole? That's still just kind of like, will he be the same? Those type of questions. But as far as the Warriors, it's like, dang, because I feel like they were actually on a roll. Like, out of the last couple of games they've played, they've won a majority of them. And then just kind of seeing how Jimmy Butler is one of the main playmakers for the team aside from Steph Curry, it's like, what are y'all gonna like? I don't have an answer for what they're gonna do, because I don't know. Like, before the trade deadline, I'm like, are you guys gonna try to make some shifts? But then it's like, who are you willing to give up? I don't really know. It's just a little frustrating, because I felt like they were finally in a groove. So I don't know. And then you see Jonathan Kuminga, who, like, I'm not gonna say he's on the same, like, I'm not saying he's on the same level, but he is that player that could put up a lot more points, but he's kind of made it clear that he's basically checked out. Like, they put him in the game the other day, but since then he hadn't played since December. So it's like, if he wants to step up to the plate and be like, I know I don't really want to be here, but at least let me make some lasting impressions and put up some points to at least help the team, that'd be dope. But when players already have something in their mind, it's kind of like, are you going to do that? Do you feel like you owe that to the Warriors? Or is it kind of like F them? I don't know. It's frustrating. So Jimmy Butler being out, it sucks.
This shit ain't work out.
It
shit
sucks.
ain't work out. Portal ain't work out. Portal ain't work out, Stat. Tried to abandon shit. Portal ain't work out.
I didn't abandon anybody. The love is still there.
I ain't hear you talking about no Jaime Jaquez Jr. in a minute. Been like 2 years.
That mean I left. That doesn't mean I left.
You bought paperwork and said, anyway, it's my go. We got what you thinking. I just want you to go first because you really bought paperwork and then got in the portal.
Yes.
They in 8th place with Jimmy Butler. They in 8th place. What you think gonna happen without Jimmy Butler? Nothing. Like you said, they better bust a move before the playoff deadline. That should have been like 2.5 weeks. I don't know who they got to bust a move for. I don't know what they could give up to get anybody. I don't think it's going to work out. I don't think it's going to work out with Jimmy Butler. They was looking good, but how good if you're in 8th place? That means you're in the play-in right now. If the playoffs start today, you're not even in the playoffs. You're in the play-in with Jimmy Butler. Doesn't look good. Steph is going to have to be the real Superman, not that nigga CJ Stroud was talking about, but you're asking a lot from Steph Curry at this age. Come on, bro. Steph Curry like 37. Like, you want him to sit there. He can't score 40 every night. And Jimmy Butler was the reason that Golden State acquired him, because they was like, he could take some of the lift off Steph Curry. He could get points, so on and so forth. I don't think it's going to happen for Golden State, especially how strong the West is looking. You got San Antonio looking good, Houston looking good, OKC looking like they may only lose 2-3 more games before the season starts. Listen, man, it don't look good in the West for Golden State. And I like Golden State as well. It just doesn't look good. Then when you say Jonathan Kuminga, this is not Jonathan Kuminga's fault. The way Steve Kerr is handling Jonathan Kuminga is a travesty. He needs to be under investigation. You don't treat the young man like that. I don't know what's going on personally, but even if it's upon personally, Steve Kerr is letting his personal emotions get in the way of the team, because Jonathan Kuminga is supposed to be getting way more time than he's getting. Like you said, you're benching him, you throwing him in here and there, knowing damn well he's a potential all-star, and you're treating it the wrong way. This isn't a Jonathan Kuminga step to the plate. This is a Steve Kerr situation where you're not handling this situation right. I don't know what happened personally to where the relationship is the way the relationship is now, but it's definitely damaged, and you're 100% right, Stat. He's mentally checked out. So if you could get something for Kuminga before the trade deadline, it got to be good because, listen, that kid to me, he's probably 22 years old now, 21, 22. He's very athletic. He's decent. I just don't think he works on his game in the summer because he gets over being athletic. If he takes the time out to work on his left hand, get a couple moves on the wing, so on and so forth, he could be one of the top 15 players in the NBA. But he has to work on his game in the offseason because we see he's athletically gifted. But he could make a difference on Golden State, but I have no idea what's going on with him and Steve Kerr. I'm not putting that on Jonathan Kuminga. I'm putting that on Steve Kerr for not handling the situation right. And maybe something going on to where we have no idea. Look, if we didn't see the footage, we wouldn't have known that Draymond snubbed Jordan Poole. We don't know what the fuck going on in these locker rooms. But it sounds real personal with Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah. Literally
with
versus
Steve Kerr.
The Raptors, yeah, Kuminga had 20 points in 21 minutes, so it's not like he can't. But like you said, if something's not clicking and you're mentally checked out and something's not going well with the coach, and this is a whole nother conversation for another day because some people feel as if Steve Kerr has struggled to like develop some younger players, given the Jordan Poole situation and stuff like that, which we should definitely touch on that one of these other days. I don't know, where I see it going, but it's just like, it's just a big damn because it's like, I think the realization of like when a team that you have a lot of, like you feel like has a lot of upside and you're excited for is just not hitting that mark. But then again, that goes back to like the new hotness and the young people takeover because like what we've seen from the Spurs, what we've seen from the OKC. So
right. Is Nick in there? Yo, Nick, can I get a shot on Nick? Can you get a shot on you in the booth in there? Nick, was Stat in the portal saying Golden State been her team and she brought paperwork in and now it's terrible and all this other shit and it's just not Stat? We don't want to hear the politically correct answer. You feel like shit because you brought in paperwork. You're like, yeah, I'm going to go to State. They should be all right with Jimmy Butler. And it didn't work out, Stat. It did not work out. Now I'm calling you out. Nick, the reason I want the camera on Nick, because Nick may not got a voice. Is this a fact, yes or no? Thank you. That's it. I just want, because
Whoa. Hey, yo, not so much on Stat now, because I don't know what's going on here, but I'm on Stat side. Nick, you got Nick coming from the control room with the camera. But I remember you, Cam, you had the Eagles hat on up here. You had switch sides. You had the Eagles cap on.
I was trolling.
In the transfer. So was she.
I was never in the transfer portal. See, all right, now look, baby, you don't really know basketball, and you should learn it because you're good at what you're doing.
Thank you.
As much as whatever, Stat brought in official paperwork. I'm not exaggerating. I don't know if you've seen that. She brought in paperwork and gave it to me and Mace, and it was a signature and a whole list of reasons why she was going. Now, me trolling, wearing the Eagles hat, Mace, we know Mace is 100% troll. I don't know. Mace just goes with whoever. We know Titletown's not a home. For 2 years, it's been everywhere in the world. I was trolling with the Eagles hat. I know that my team ain't shit. But Stat bought a permission slip in. Like, yo,
okay.
So
Stat, were you trolling?
I just had to call in that. Nah. She was dead serious.
Because here's the thing. You're telling me, no. You're telling me you don't have favorite players. Like, it's very rare when two of your favorite players are on the same team. I am still a Heat fan, but Steph Curry, like I said, is my GOAT. I'm not giving that up, and I'm not apologizing. I don't feel like shit. Yes, they're playing. I can't even say they're playing bad because they were playing good. This is just an unfortunate turn of events. I don't like that. I hope he has a speedy recovery. I'm still going to support the Warriors even if they lose. That's fine. But yes, two of my favorite players are on the same team, so I'm going to make that clear. So when I start making comments about the Warriors like I just did, y'all know I'm not just chatting. It's like, yes, I like both of them as players. So yes, I like the Warriors, but the Heat is still my team. I don't know another way y'all want me to put it. Y'all can call it Gen Z stuff or whatever, but a lot of people agreed with me with my permission slip because they felt the same way. Because a lot of them have Steph Curry as their favorite player too. So yes, I'm going to support the Warriors because I like them.
All right, this is what I'm gonna do, Nick. We're going to have the meeting on Sunday and put up the comments Monday since they support her.
Go ahead.
Let's see what the comments say.
Ahead.
This is what we're going to get the comments from today's show.
That's
and we're going to see how much support that you have for what you got going on. But hey, Stat, it's all good. Listen, I didn't mean to say you felt like shit. You shouldn't feel like shit. You made a bad pick. I don't think it was going good if they're in 8th place. That's all I'm saying. I don't know how 8th place is good. I just don't understand that.
I didn't say they have to be great. I can still like them. Even if they were in last place. I
You
still
just
like
said
the
they
players.
going. Hey, Arabia. Okay, you don't even know this much about basketball, but Arabia, you didn't hear her saying they doing good and they heading in the right direction.
No, they were.
8th place.
They were. Like, they had a lot of really good games. So it was getting, obviously when you got the best you got the Spurs and stuff, like, they're gonna be ahead because they have players like Wemby. Like, I get that, but I still like the Warriors, and that's fine.
What about this? Is what I'm trying to say, right? The Spurs is my team. Don't throw Wemby in our face. We've been struggling for a decade.
Yes, but also Wemby has brought so much to the Spurs because he's literally like a cheat code. He's literally like a cheat code.
Yeah, but nobody, we wasn't complaining when Steph Curry was the cheat code and changed the game and everybody shooting 3 points.
And that's fine.
They had a cheat code.
That's fine.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And I stayed down with my team. I didn't get in the transport portal.
And
I just stayed there
I
until we
still
got
stand
Wemby.
down with the Heat. But if one of your favorite players move, you'd be like, dang, I really like this player too. And I'm gonna support them and their team. I don't know. I think I let the comments say what they gotta say.
I want you to have the last word, but I'm gonna ask one more question.
Fine.
Can I go back to Nick? This is my last question. Nick, have you heard her in the last 2.5 years ever say that Jimmy Butler was her favorite player, period, maybe with the Heat? And have you ever heard her say she was a Golden State fan? Everything was the Miami Heat. I still don't know who Jaime Jaquez Jr. is. I seen him in commercial the other day. I was like, oh shit. I ain't hear that name in 2 years. Have you heard this till this year? Just be honest. If I missed it, maybe I missed it. I apologize. But maybe Nick, did you hear about Golden State till this year being her favorite team? All right, because Nick is
I don't like his ad libs right now. The whole I'm not a fan. Yeah, Nick, you.
No, I don't know about that.
I'm not rocking with it. And no, right, I'm not sorry, Nick. I'm not. But we'll let the comments tell us because we agree to disagree, and that's fine. That's fine. It happens. But with that being said, y'all, that is all the time that we have for today. Arabia, it's always a pleasure.
You,
good seeing you too. Thank you so much for having me on. Much appreciated. Fun show as always.
Of course. And y'all stop sending her boyfriend videos. Like, y'all doing too much. But thank y'all for watching. And as always, it is what it is. Always got things put together. So I wanted to show you guys this, and you guys can read it out to them.
If this is transport portal paper, I don't want to see it.
Wait, I need to stamp this now. I'm not going to play with y'all throughout the season if I make certain comments, okay?
Oh, my goodness.
I just wanted to be clear so everybody understands where I stand.
This is the official NBA bandwagon transferable form.
Yo.
You definitely gotta send this to Wallow. Wallow need this form.
And you too. What are you talking about?
Where do you think I learned this from? Titletown Summer School. I learned it from you.
Yeah, I seen what? That. People said Titletown Summer School went too far.
The last team you were a fan of, Miami Heat. This is your first time bandwagon? Yes. This is crazy.
Where'd you get this sheet? This sheet
is crazy.
So the sheet says, like Mace says, name Treasure Wilson, age 24, date of birth, last team you were a fan of, Miami Heat, parentheses still. Is this your first time bandwagoning? If so, how long? She didn't say how long. She just says yes.
Yes.
Miami Heat bandwagon history. Miami Heat my whole life. We still back though.
Yeah, and how long do you plan on staying? 1 season, A, B, duration of player's contract is crazy.
It says until
C,
Curry, it says the answer to that question is until Curry retires.
Yeah, that's wow.
Backup team in case emergency. How is the backup team the Heat?
Yeah,
They're never gonna be the backup team, but I'm just making it clear I am a Heat fan, but I am the Warriors.
Don't act like me and Nick don't got the fouls, nigga. We keep the fouls,
I'm very
man.
consistent. I damn near said the same thing that I just said now.
Nah, because you know what? We gonna bandwagon in this bag, and you say you bandwagoning. That don't sound like you was down. It sounds like you jumped off of one ship and jumped on a bandwagon.
Never jumped off. I said nope because my contract has stipulations, and I wrote it in there. You need to keep the original paper that I signed because that has everything on there, and I think there's a picture of it. So y'all can tell me what you think. That's fine. I said what I said.
Nick, that was crazy.
And I'm there until Steph Curry retires. Sorry.
Well, okay, nigga. They think we playing with this analytics shit like we ain't got everything on file, man. We got it ready to go, Stat. We didn't have to wait. We'll put it in the comment section.
Yeah, comments, you let us know. Monday. Hey, man, same man.
Arabia's seen it, and now she mad at. That's how girls stick together, though. Stat says this, but then she's gonna say, "Damn, Nick." How you gonna say, damn, Nick? That's crazy.
Damn, Nick. You know, Nick,
That's
sometimes
crazy.
you can say, I don't know. Sometimes you can take a neutral position. Sometimes you can just stay out of it. You don't have to tell the truth all the time.
Nick,
sometimes you can just take a neutral position and be like, I don't remember. But you just,
Nick,
not only did
what?
you just do the thumbs up and the
Let me tell you
pulled
this.
out the damn video.
Let me tell you what y'all did. Y'all rage baited Nick when you talked about Train like his ad-libs and all that. Nigga like, word? All right. Like, y'all rage baited my nigga. Like, y'all shouldn't have did that. Y'all should have just left it alone. You rage baited him. He's like, all right, niggas is playing with my name. Like, I'm just trying to say what I saw. That's what happens, man. But it was a great show, man. I appreciate y'all for being here again today. I'll see y'all top of the week.
Bye, y'all. Let us know what y'all think in the comments. Thank y'all for watching. And as always, it is what it is.